Alrighty, and welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I'm reviewing The High Republic Issue 3, Balance of the Force, Chapter 3, Tyseric, which was written by Cavan with art by Ario Edito, and it came out on December 28th, 2022, which I thought was an alright issue. It mainly gets a little more into Tyseric and more of his backstory and whatnot, so it was nice to learn more about him, but that was mostly through flashbacks. So a good bit of the issue was flashbacks, and so I felt like the present day story didn't really move along that much until really the end of the issue. But the issue picks up right where the last one ended off, with Vildar, Maddie, and Sarek getting confronted by the Guardians of the Wills, which Vildar pulls his lightsaber out on them, but Maddie reminds him that the Guardians are their allies, which Vildar questions why they're pointing their weapons at them then, which the captain from the Guardians, named Oklon Vis, tells them that they're pointing their weapons not at the Jedi, but Sarek, who they refer to as a traitor, which is one Rodian goes and tries to take Sarek away, but Sarek threatens him with his Moritro moves, which makes Vildar snap, and then he force pushes Sarek and tells him, no more tricks, which just upsets Sarek, who then gets up and walks away on his own. But afterwards, Vildar and Maddie speak with Captain Vis, who reveals that Sarek was once a Guardian, which kind of shocks Maddie a little bit, but we then see Sarek and his droid Scoot standing on the roof of a building next to the Temple of the Kyber, which they get into a little argument, and Scoot kind of, storms off, which we then get a flashback to when Sarek was a Guardian, which we see him standing guard outside the temple when he notices this kid who's some sort of elephant-looking creature, like he's pink and whatnot too, but this elephant-looking person is with a droid who happens to be Scoot, but Sarek witnesses them rob someone, and so he goes after them, but this one other kid comes and knocks Sarek down, and they get away. But they do mention someone named Wuzu, who seems to be their boss, which it seems like the pink elephant-looking kid's name was Flim. But it then goes back to the present for a moment, as we see Vildar, Maddie, and Captain Vis now inside the temple, with these archivists named Zumeg and Ornala, which the Jedi told them about the artifact which was stolen, which the archivists say that it sounds like the Firebird of Kul Sasa, but they don't believe anything has been stolen, so they go and check on it to see if it's still there, and it turns out it isn't, which the archivist Ornala suggests that Sarek was the one to steal it, but Vildar and Maddie don't think so, as Sarek seemed to care about it, and with his investigation into stolen artifacts, and that the death of the sister Vakara seemed to genuinely upset him, which Captain Vis says a sob story always follows Sarek, which we then get a follow-up to those flashbacks from earlier, which we see Sarek speaking with Captain Vis during their training time about looking into the robbery and about this Wuzu, but Vis tells him that they're only protectors of the temple and not all of Jedha City, and Vis tells him to focus on his training. But then sometime later we see Sarek confront Flim, who's pulling the same tricks again, but Flim starts to run away, and so Sarek chases after him, but they run into this Wuzu, who tells Sarek to run back to the Guardians before he is missed, which Vis then shows up, and so Wuzu leaves with Flim, who's very distraught looking, which the next day, while guarding the temple, Sarek notices that Flim hasn't shown up again, which then the droid Scoot shows up, alerting Sarek of something, so he follows this droid to this kind of, rundown hidden room area, where he finds Flim and several other children dead or barely alive, which Vis then shows up somehow. I really wasn't sure how he knew everything, at least this location. I'm assuming that he just followed Sarek there, but Vis tells Sarek that Zumeg told him that Wuzu double-crossed his syndicate called Naomi, and so he's on the run now, which Sarek asks Vis if Wuzu beat the children so they wouldn't rat him out, or to slow the Naomi syndicate down, which Vis says it doesn't matter, and that their duty is to the temple, which upsets Sarek, thinking that he could have stopped Wuzu before he hurt and killed Flim and the other kids. And because, Vis doesn't seem to really care that much, Sarek then leaves not just the building, but the Guardians, and then goes after Wuzu, which Wuzu is like this big dude who has like this like tank thing on his head. But Sarek then finds him and beats his ass by destroying that tank thingy, which was helping Wuzu breathe, I guess. But we see Sarek walk away as Wuzu dies. When we then see back in the present, as we see Scoot has returned to Sarek, which Sarek tells the droid that there's no way he's stepping foot through the temple doors, which I'm not sure if he means that in a breaking into the temple kind of way, or just, everything with his past with the Guardians and whatnot. Not fully sure there. Either way works, I guess. But they instead go in through a window, but then while in like the hallways or something, Sarek says that they'll check the logs, I guess to look to see whoever stole the artifact, and then that they will get out of there. But once he gets to the computer terminal area, he notices that Vildar, Maddie, and Zumeg are there, so he starts sneaking around the place where he ends up finding a bomb, wondering how it got there, which is when Vildar notices him and, yells that he has a bomb, which Sarek tries to explain what's going on, but Vildar uses the Force, pushing the bomb away, which we then get a shot from outside as we see a big explosion happen inside the temple, which is where the issue ends. Which, like I said, I thought it was alright. I did like learning more about Sarek and his past, which the flashback story I liked, though I do feel like the pacing was a little off. Not just with that, but the whole issue. And I didn't really feel like the present day story moved along that much until the very end. So, I just wasn't that into this issue. So yeah, but my grade is going to be a B-. But that'll be it for this one. My next High Republic review will be the first issue of the Blade miniseries from Marvel. So you can check that out then. But in the meantime, check out all my other High Republic reviews and everything else to do. Bit of Star Wars review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.